Well, almost anybody. There might be a couple.
Yeah, be careful.
Ready? Good morning, I'm Michael Griffith, Chair of the McMinnville Historic Zoning Commission, and at this time we'll call the meeting to order, and the board needs an approval of the February the 4th meeting minutes. The Chair entertains a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
Do we have a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. At this time, we, on the agenda is a COA for a under awning sign for 124 East Main Street. We have Miss Leanne Cordell. Go ahead.
I'm Leanne Cordell with Edward Jones Downtown, and we recently received a grant for the awning, and it's a metal awning. So we're requesting a sign, a metal sign, two-sided, to go underneath that awning, to hang underneath the awning.
Leanne is the one that's in our package, the one that, yep,
Yes.
gotcha.
It's black with white.
Understood. Staff comments?
The paint and the awning look great.
Oh, thank you. It did make it look so much better.
It does, it looks great.
Yeah, so the application for the COA meets all the applicable guidelines and staff recommendation approval.
Okay. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Just be sure that it's screwed on well,
Gina's gonna put it on, so.
because
Gina
when
knows.
I was, across the street,
And
we had,
the hitch flew off.
yeah, and
Yeah.
almost crashed through the window.
Yeah, the wind is strong.
Now, what is the height requirement?
I'll send that over to you.
Okay, all
I think it's not below 7 feet.
Yeah.
right, okay.
Chair would entertain a motion to approve Ms. Cordell's COA for 124 East Main Street.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Congratulations. Thank you. Next on the agenda is a COA for 213 East Main Street, a COA for the storefront. Ms. Young.
Yeah. Is there a picture in here? There is. Okay. So this is, clearly I will be abstaining from the vote on this, but it was where the Rustic Daisy is. Historically, Touch of Class was there, Hillis Hardware. So that building, 213 West Main Street. Our tenant moved out due to some family issues that she was having, and so we are taking the opportunity to remodel the building. That facade is not the original, or the way that the storefront windows and doors are is not the actual original storefront. And I didn't attach this, but y'all can see what Hillis Hardware looked like.
Yeah.
So it traditionally had two entrances. It was two separate storefronts. But that's the historical one, so it had two storefronts there, we recessed the windows in, that kind of thing. So that's what we are proposing, to put it back to a similar layout. The storefront windows would match our windows on Fraley's with the dark bronze aluminum door. Awning would stay, the brick would stay, we're gonna paint the building, but just proposing to change the layout of the doors and windows, so. Cause it's 3,500 square feet currently, and it's a large space, so we're gonna split it into two.
Questions, comments, concerns? Looks good. Appreciate restoring back to the original facade. It's
Yeah.
great idea. That's in a lot of the landmark photos, that particular one, especially with
Yeah,
the.
we aren't gonna do like this corbel and the top decorative that is there, because we have the awning already, so it'd cover it anyways, but we'll go back with the transom windows above the door, the storefront, and it's a similar layout to how Evelyn Taylor is now. They have the flat across the front and then the recess where the door is, so it'd be a very similar structural. And actually, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how this building has not fell down, because it's not, I guess it was in the 60s when Mr. Fraley's might have done this, but it's definitely not structural with how they recessed it currently, because the main structure for this brick front is actually still there, and it
Wow.
overhangs that. So it's gonna be much more structurally sound and stable.
Great,
So
that's
a
great.
little less concern of waking up in the middle of the night and having our storefront in the street.
Understood. Staff comments?
So with this proposal, they'll be going back to more of the original historic look. With that would ultimately be better than having the changed. And then obviously with the economic standpoint, it would help have two spaces. But again, it falls within all the applicable guidelines, and we recommend approval going back to the original.
Thanks for the presentation. Let the record reflect that Raven abstained from the vote, but the chair would entertain a motion to approve the COA for 213 East Main Street.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sign code revisions relating to the H1 district discussion.
Before we get into that, if I could, ask the chair and the board, we had an application for a small sign come in right after I sent the agenda out. We do have a representative here, I have a staff report, if we could add and.
Absolutely, the chair
Appreciate that.
so agrees.
So there's the staff report. And this is a small under window sign, so.
Understood.
A smaller project, not too much tied to it, so.
All right, this is at 112 East Main Street. Heather, you want to address us? Yeah, go ahead.
Our sisters.
Okay, that's what I thought. I apologize.
She just sent me a picture of it. She couldn't be here today. It's a 14 by 8. It is a hanging, and I just noticed y'all mentioned something about the hanging.
This
so
this one right here?
That's it,
All
yeah.
right.
Yeah, it's 14 by 8 inches. I was like, are you sure it's inches? So yeah. So I'm just here for her in her spot.
Understood. Staff comments?
So what this is an under awning sign, 14 inches by 8 inches, pretty small sign. The new awning is high enough that it can meet the head requirements, and staff would recommend approval of all applicable guidelines are met with it.
And what building is that in? 112, where is that?
It's right across the street, upstairs. I think Tammy Ross's building.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
upstairs,
it's on the
got it,
upstairs.
okay.
That's where Lemon started out at, right?
I think so,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
yeah.
think so, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Questions, comments?
What's it, what is it?
She's a massage therapist.
Okay.
So I think she works like with Jeanette doing a little bit, but
Okay,
yeah, it's part of, not part of that, but part of that, I guess.
Understood.
okay.
Chair would entertain a motion to approve the COA for a sign on 112 East Main Street.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Congratulations. You can tell her it's all good to go.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right, Sean, you're up.
Okay, so on the sign code revisions, we're getting ready to redo the complete sign code. So there has been, one of the big ones was 2015. There was a federal case, and the Supreme Court has ruled that our sign code has to be content neutral. So we can regulate the time, place, and manner, but we cannot regulate content, any of those type of things. We can't favor one type over another, any of that, and that's completely all zone district wide. So with this, I'm gonna send that revised sign code to you guys, so you can look at that, and I'll kind of highlight the C1. We've made some changes in the C1 district, as far as what signs are gonna be permitted and which ones will not be. And so that'll be on the sign code. Murals, that would apply to murals too, it'd be the same way. We can put, and I would recommend on the guidelines that we keep them off the historical buildings. They only can be placed on the side and rear of the buildings, so we don't have something on the front of one of the buildings kind of blaring out there. And there's a few things we can get in there, but overall, we can't say it could only be related to advertising, but not, you can't have this mural, but you can have this one. So we just gotta be real cautious about that. But we could do placement, size, and that to limit any potential effects to the district.
We can like not do, like if somebody were to like wanna put a lewd mural up or something, you know, that's not appropriate, are we allowed to not do that?
That gets really tricky on first.
Define
amendment,
lewd.
that's-
Well, I'm just thinking of like if somebody, I don't know, something
Sure.
inappropriate that would not be something we wanted. Is that
Yeah,
allowed? I mean, like-
it's a legitimate question. I think it's probably gonna get difficult for us to probably,
I mean, something as far as like, I don't know, some of the graffiti that has been done or something, you know, and it's a cuss word or something, you know, I mean, just something like that, is that allowed to be
yeah.
removed?
If it's truly graffiti and it's not, falls within that definition of
Uh-huh.
mural, then there's a little bit of leeway there. But as far as the content, it gets
Not to
real
say that somebody's
tricky.
gonna do that, but
No,
you
but I
never
absolutely
know.
understand, but like I said, that's just where the tricky is with the First Amendment and the freedom of speech.
But
So,
we
Yeah.
but we will still have time, place, and manner.
yes, we can do type place and that.
So manner is kind of some gray.
Yeah, a little bit, but you got like your height restrictions,
Mhm.
if it's, LED backlit, if it's, like a digital sign, how often that changes, those type of things would kind of fall into that manner, but from a content perspective, we can't have anything in there, so.
I mean, you know, what if there's something, I mean, I'm not talking late, I'm talking,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is the South, and, you know, there's no way to get around this content problem.
Interesting.
It's too bad.
Nothing I have found. I'm still digging into it, but it's
Okay.
very tricky with.
With these changes, are you doing some of the other updates about like no digital and
Yes.
things like that? Okay.
Yep.
It'd be a good time to freshen it up, and hopefully we can probably discourage this in other ways, because I think a lot of times murals are somewhat done when a project is developed, so we might be able
Right.
to control some of that, because you all would have never done the mural if you hadn't done the parking lot. We
Right.
would have never done the mural if we hadn't bought the two buildings, so
Right.
they are somewhat, related to some sort of development, and perhaps we can, do it from that perspective. But,
Yeah, we can get in and figure those out and get some good base guidelines to try to limit what we can.
Sure.
And just make sure we
Sure.
remain content neutral on that, so.
One thing that I wanted to bring up, just, and I haven't lived downtown for almost 3 years now, but when I live downtown, and I frequent downtown a lot, seems like there is still an enormous amount of large trucks that come through here, and they're hitting the bollards, and it's not as pedestrian friendly, but because of that, is there a way we can work with Main Street to encourage some signage to block that off, or have y'all done, is the
We
city?
have tried that, we've met with KDOT a few times on that, and then trying to solve different things. It's difficult, we have signs, no trucks downtown. We've looked, especially like at Chancery at the intersection there, maybe changing that where that one turn lane would come further back.
Yeah.
Where that would allow for that truck and have that width to be able to turn a little bit better and not be so close and so tight on that corner, and hit those bollards. So, that is something I kind of want to bring up with TDOT again to see what we could do. But I just don't know how much we're gonna get. Because with some of the trucks too, we can't and don't want to ban all trucks because a lot are coming down for restaurant deliveries and.
That's the
obviously
major
we want them
culprit, I'll just
down.
be honest with you.
And
That's,
so not all those are necessarily.
Which a
big
lot
ones,
of it
right?
too, it's
Yeah.
when the truck drivers don't go slow, because those turns can be made if they take, well, maybe not the one at Chancery, that right turn, I don't know. But like, if you're going left onto Sparta Street from Maine, an 18-wheeler can make it if they
slow
go slow.
Yeah.
Cause I know I've had some truck deliveries and
Yeah.
they call me and they're like, well, we're on Main Street, where are we supposed to be? I'm like, oh, well, you're not supposed to be there in the first place, but I'm like, take it low and slow and you'll be okay.
Right.
It's when they fly around that corner that they get
And
stuck
then we've
on
talked
it.
about that intersection as well, kind of getting rid of that little island, and on that other side of Main Street, putting a stop sign there. And
the two biggest culprit is by Gibson Insurance, turning right, and then
Sparta,
at Sparta, right, basically at the Begonias patio,
Yeah.
right there. That's your two biggest culprits.
Yeah.
And I don't want a whole bunch of signs there, but,
I just wish people would read signs more.
Yeah.
Because that seems to be,
well, I didn't know if it would be appropriate to have some sort of, flashing caution signal
Yeah.
there or not. But anyway, it's just food for thought. I don't wanna mess up the streetscape no more than anybody. I wanna kinda keep it nice and clean and landscaped like it is.
No, I'll reach back out to them and see. if we can
Sounds
figure
good.
that out.
But the
There's
trucks
a
at
lot
that
of
corner
back and
would
forth
would be better off to
trying
go straight.
Find a solution.
yeah, they're
Absolutely.
trying to turn.
And then, just keep them going straight so you don't get hung in
Right.
on the bollard. 'Cause
Yeah.
You can go through and turn down here,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
fine, and make and then make a
Loop
lap.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, even maybe something like that, take that right-hand turn for trucks
Yeah.
out there to answer.
I mean, just keep going straight. Hey, I know we don't want them downtown,
I
but
mean, because it's hard even for a regular car to make that turn right onto Chancery from Main Street right there by Gibson.
Yeah,
Insurance.
and you do. I was at Begonia's patio just a couple of Saturdays ago, and campers going down to Smooth Rapids were hitting
yeah.
it. And these are just regular sized campers. And they don't have to, but they don't know it's there, and they take it too sharp.
like, I'm in a
So,
truck and a camper. I'm not a big truck.
I'm not a big
Right,
truck,
right.
and that campground's pretty popular now, and that's the direction if you put it in your GPS, you're coming through downtown. So, we want to encourage people to use downtown and support downtown.
Would removing the bollards, I mean, I get the point of them, to protect the sidewalks, to keep you off the sidewalks, but do they create more of a hazard?
Yes.
I don't know.
They do. Bottom
I
line, they
don't
do.
know how that would go, because I think part of that was feared with poles with MES and that type of stuff for protection there as well.
Yeah,
That's
understand that.
definitely a consideration, so.
It'd be better to move the pole back and then not have the bollard, and you can make
Yeah.
the turn. Be no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was my comment. Anybody else got things they want to bring up? Good
You
meeting.
sure?
I'm sorry I missed some of the meetings.
We're glad to have you here, Rachel. You were here in spirit each time.
Oh, I
We
did.
tried to approve things in your honor and your support, so I don't think we did anything super controversial while you were gone.
Rachel asked before. Rachel asked me before about the picnic tables that Main Street's getting, and so they have been ordered and they are expected to deliver maybe this week, potentially next week though. And then they'll go to the Milner Center and Justin will handle it from there to get them installed. So
Wonderful.
just FYI, picnic tables
Good
For down
somewhere.
here, for the
yeah.
lot or for the,
The lot, yeah. Or I
With
don't
a
know.
real with a real Christmas tree.
With a real
Yes.
Christmas tree, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you, Rachel.
that worried me.
Thank you.
Well,
So
Thank you,
we're
and thank you,
looking at
Ben.
a few
I hear
spots
your
for
name was
picnic
involved.
tables.
Okay.
Well, I
Maybe
said
one at the lot, we maybe
I can
a
handle
couple on the grass areas,
and it's
but
not gonna fall down.
By the fountain or the
Courtswear.
court square. Yeah.
Well, if it was gonna happen, we were gonna have the real Christmas party at the West Lawn and have Ben Myers take care of that. We were gonna permanently plan. That was the backup. Of the protest party down. All the rough kids that want us me. Anything else to come before this board? Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
so moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you so much.
All right.